you to think about. So content distribution is dissemination of content to an audience through strategic use of channels and tactics. Along the way, you need to distribute your content. So you need to distribute your content, especially to the right audience that needs to take actions around the content that you have developed. Okay, so there are two kinds of content distribution. One is organic, which we're going to look at. Two is paid distribution. So we're going to go in detail in terms of organic distribution and paid distribution. Remember, you have now already created your video or your photo with a caption. Now you want to distribute that piece of content. You want to distribute that piece of content maybe on LinkedIn or in Facebook or on Twitter. So does organic distribution still have a place in the digital arsenal? Okay, does organic still make sense? So organic distribution is if you create a piece of content and just put it up on possibly Facebook. So you just put that piece of content on Facebook and organically people just come and like and share it without you getting into paid, without you boosting or getting into paid media and boosting that piece of content. So does that still make sense organically? Is that still okay? Because we have been told that organic has been dropping because there's so much activities on the channels or on the platforms. So does organic distribution still have a place in the digital arsenal? The short answer to that question is yes. Organic distribution works as your litmus paper for your paid promotion. So before you get into boosting that piece of content or that post on Facebook, before you get to boost or do media buying for that piece of content on Twitter, before you get to boost that piece of content on Instagram, you need to let the piece of content breathe before you get into paid promotion. So don't jump head first into spending a lot of money on distributing that piece of content or promoting every piece of content that you create. For one thing, that approach will drain your budget in no time. And for another, it is not effective. You need to let the piece of content, be it video, to breathe for some time. So distribute your content organically first. Track its performance for a couple of weeks and then put some spend behind the pieces of content. Only pieces of content that have identified as high performing. Only. Again, I'm saying you need to track performance for a couple of weeks. Then you only put spend behind pieces of content that have identified as high performing. Determining what action you want people to take after reading that piece of content and promote the posts that drive the most people to take that action. So when you put up that piece of content on Facebook, let it breathe for a couple of weeks, possibly days. When you do that, you are testing it as litmus paper. When you see certain pieces of content having some form of bump and they're performing really, really well, that's when you deploy paid distribution. That's when you do boosting. That's when you get to boost that piece of content. So why is organic distribution or organic reach declining? So organic reach has been declining for a couple of years. So what do I mean by this? You put up a piece of content on Instagram, you put up a photo on Instagram, on your business account on Instagram. Maybe you're selling bags. Then you put up this piece of content and it's a photo format in terms of content. Then you say you're selling shoes or you're selling bags. But then only one person gets to interact with that piece of content. Let's say you only get 1 like on Facebook and maybe 0 comments, maybe 2 likes. So organic has been declining. But the question is here, why is organic reach declining? Why is organic reach declining? Why do I put up a piece of content on Twitter and then I get 1 retweet? Why do I put up a piece of content on Instagram and I get 1 comment? Why do I put up a piece of content on YouTube and I get 10 views, but I want 100 views? So why is that? So currently there are so many pages. Currently there are so many accounts producing so much content, which means that competition for visibility is very high. Everyone wants their piece of content to be seen. So platforms are trying to appease their own customers, right? So Only is trying to ensure that their users only see the best content out there, especially the ones that are relevant to them. So platforms like Twitter, platforms like Facebook, platforms like Instagram, platforms like even YouTube, LinkedIn, they are trying to give their customers or the people that go on these platforms only content that is relevant. That is why it is very key that your content is relevant, consistent, and is valuable, which is our definition for content marketing. Because organic distribution and organic reach is declining. When you put up a piece of content, you will not reach as many people as you thought you would many years ago. Because right now there's so much competition when it comes to visibility. Everyone is trying to get attention of the same people. Imagine a typical Facebook user has over 30 pages that they follow. So if all the 30 pages create pieces of content on the same day, do you think all the 30 pieces of content will be shown to this user on Facebook? That is why organic is declining. So only relevant, valuable, and some form of consistency around your content. If your content is not entertaining, informative, educative, funny, and informative, the algorithms, Facebook algorithm, Twitter algorithm, YouTube, LinkedIn algorithm will beat your content down because it does not mark as relevant. Which takes us to knowing the algorithm. I would like for you to go do more research on some of these algorithms. So algorithms are a set of rules that governs these platforms on how they feed content to us. So the way I get my content on Instagram has mastered key layers. They have set certain key rules on how they show me the pieces of content. Now that is called the algorithm. For instance, on Facebook, if I interact with key people, Facebook will see that as an indicator that I love to engage with person X, person Y, person Z. So they'll keep showing me pieces of content from that person. If I engage with pieces of content, for instance, with the Innovation Village, they'll keep showing me more pieces of content when the Innovation Village is showing me content. So those are the set of rules that are around. So I would love for you to go dive into algorithms, studying the algorithms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and all the other different sort of platforms. So you need to know the algorithm. Social media platforms create algorithms that are designed to bring their users the most relevant content to them. Nowadays, this means that there's a higher preference for the content posted by friends and family rather than brands. Therefore, it's important to study the formula and learn how they work so that you're able to make the most out of them. So if you're able to make the most out of algorithms, you need to go study. How does the Facebook algorithm work, right? Even the Google algorithm around search. How does the Google algorithm around search work? How does the organic algorithm for search work for Google? How does the algorithm for Instagram work? So I need you to go sort of dive into that. Let's now get into paid distribution. Now you have seen a piece of content. That piece of content is high performance. Maybe it has 50 likes, 30 comments on any sort of platform, and it's engaging. Now you want to say, now maybe for Facebook, let's boost it. Let's boost this piece of content. So there are three kinds, and I'm going to walk you through the three kinds of paid distribution. One kind of paid distribution is on search engine marketing, which is paid. The other one is social media marketing, where you get to do a bit of paid distribution. The other one is content syndication via third-party media. So let's start with search engine marketing. So search is still a vital component of any marketing strategy. You need to have it in your marketing strategy. Like organic search, paid search reaches those who are searching for an answer or solution to a particular problem on a search engine. We all know a search engine. One of the biggest search engines that we have in the world is Google. The other example of a search engine is possibly Bing, Google. So in this scenario, let's look at Google. So if someone is looking for an answer to a solution on Google, which people do on almost a daily, looking for solutions on Google on a particular problem, you can deploy your search engine marketing, which is paid. So when they're looking for that solution, your product or service shows up. So the way you do this is you use Google AdWords to sort of deploy your search campaigns. Unlike organic search, so organic search, you don't pay any money to Google to show your business or brand in search. So paid search allows you to actually bid on certain keywords. Let's say shoes in Uganda, bags in Uganda. So you bid on those keywords so that when someone is searching on certain keywords, which we know very many people get to search on so many keywords when they go to Google, your business or brand will show up. But remember, you have paid a bit of dollars to Google so that you show up in the results. Remember, when you're doing any search, they'll give you results. When you're searching about any product, service, or anything around the world, they'll bring you results. So you want your business to be at center stage when someone gets those results. So they'll pay a bit of money and they'll show up in what we call the search engine result pages. So these are results that you get, and these are the different pages that they show you. They'll show you possibly 10 to 15, 20 pages, and then you'll get to look at what you want. So that is search. Let's look at social media marketing, which is very common, and many of you guys get to know that you see a sponsored post, sponsored video, and things like that on Facebook. So paying to display adverts, whether the format is text, video, image, or carousel, or sponsored messages. These days you can even do sponsored messages on Facebook. You can say, I want messages, people to send me messages. So you'll tell messages, you'll put your advertising objectives in the dashboard for Facebook as messages. So you'll do when people see this ad, they'll be able now to send you messages. Or you can even run an advertising ad in messages. I don't know if you've already seen this, but if you're scrolling through your normal inbox for Facebook, you'll see an ad of a brand targeted to you to get to see it. So that's how social media marketing advertising gets to work. Targeting based on interest. The one beauty about all this, even with search engine marketing, where people are searching and you get to deploy an ad, you can target on interests, you can target on demographics, you can target on behaviors, you can target on location. So we can say people in Ntinda, people in Boyogere, people in Kampala, Wakiso, you target them. People who love a certain sort of business, people who have a certain title, people who are doing this sort of job. You can do behaviors, demographics, and things like, and even location. So you can target people based on self-identified interests. For example, if you're selling pet accessories, you can significantly target people who have pets. Marketers doing this typically, if you do this, you get what they call a higher click-through rate. People get to click on the ads and they get to interact with your business. Let's look at content syndication via third party. We have already looked at search engine marketing, which is paid when you're doing search. We have looked at social media marketing with ads, where you can deploy ads on Instagram, you can deploy ads on Facebook, you can deploy ads on YouTube. A few seconds when someone is watching a YouTube video, you can deploy an ad and they can be able to see that ad. Remember, we are looking at paid distribution. Now this is our third one. The third one is content syndication via third-party media. So content syndication means you're publishing the same piece of content. It can be an article, it can be a video, it can be an infographic.